Gerard days. And uh, Gerard, he threw a Hail Mary pass, and I forgot what team it was against, but the guy got two hands up, batted the ball not downward, but he batted the ball towards the goal line. Some Jags guy,
towards the field of play when he could have hit it out of bounds. I mean,
or
that's
like
the point,
punched it out of bounds, or even maybe try to catch it. But he batted it down. He did what was quote unquote right.
He tried to bat it down and failed.
And,
I know the one you're talking
about. And
about.
then it went right into the stomach of a Jags player.
S3.
So, but that one was just.
That may have been Bortles' first game, possibly even.
The difference was between those games is that you have this guy was playing the ball, and it was dumb that he batted it forward, but he was there, he touched it, and for this Lions game, I don't even think anybody
was in the vicinity.
Well, yeah, I think they were just the Lions were just hanging out and hoping the ball comes to them. So the trailer was definitely. I heard that Devontae Adams was maybe going to be the guy that he would try to bat it down towards Rodgers. So, but I guess Rodgers made the call to go for it, and
I got this.
Yeah. So
it worked out better for Richard Rodgers than it did. Brian Bostic. Oh wait, too soon to mention the Brian Bostic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so yeah, and because of that, the Lions with the worst luck. With fumbles into the end zone and then things at the end of the game and calls between the Seahawk thing a while back and this. Now, granted, you can argue that they were lucky to beat the Packers the first time, but I guess it kind of cancels out at this point. Wow. What fun it is to be a Lions fan. Not really. Yeah. Chris, anything else?
No, just how bad the Packers have been playing. They're 8-4 now. So they're pretty much certain that they'll make the playoffs, especially how bad the NFC is as well. Actually, a lot of the teams are this year. So the way they've played this past month and a half, you even see them making it out of the first round.
Making it past the first round, you mean?
Yes.
Well, I'll say this. Their success in any game between now and playoff time is very simple. How much love will they get from Eddie Lacy? Because the more he produces, the more balanced their offense, the more successful they are. And the last time Eddie Lacy was a reliable contributor, he did have some yardage in the Bears game.
He had two games in a row where he did pretty good. One, I think the first of which was the Lions, was the Vikings.
Vikings, thank you. But yeah, both things that were in common with the Lions games here is the lack of production from one Eddie Lacy. Well done, Weasel. So yeah, I'm going to put it on. If they could get a balanced offense, they have a shot to get past the first round. But if they come out and they don't have Lacy, not just, not in the lineup, but not doing his thing, they're going to be pretty useless in the first round. I can see where you're going there. And not for nothing, there are plenty of NFC teams that are knocking on the proverbial door of heaven to get into the postseason in the NFC. I'm just saying. Next up.
Oh, I'll add just one more thing
about
the whole thing with Eddie Lacy. I think he got like 4 yards. I think the whole game against the Lions, and people had their fantasy football hopes up with him. And it wasn't. Just how bad, if he was playing like bad or anything, they benched him. But Eddie Lacy and Alonzo Harris, they missed curfew Wednesday night in Detroit. And pretty much, yeah, they said, you're not going to play much. So that stunk.
That stinks, except for the fact that somehow or another the Packers still win the football game. Figure that out. Yeah. Anyways, so next up, Ravens, Dolphins. Look, this game didn't have any implications in it. We were basically put in the position to pick the team with their starting quarterback against a team that has Matt Schaub playing. Matt Schaub did not disappoint. He did indeed have a situation where he threw an interception, and one of them was a pick six by a defensive lineman who tipped it at the line, caught it, and then took it to the hizzy, which apparently was the difference in the game. 15-13, the Fins over the Ravens. If you're a Ravens fan, you're ultimately pissed because despite the fact that Matt Schaub went 32 for 46, 308 yards with a touchdown and 2 picks, 1 for the pick 6 there. Ryan Tannehill goes 9 for 19, 86 yards passing. That's total yards passing with a touchdown. Yeah, that doesn't matter. You know, you want to know the only thing that's worse than 0 and 2 in the red zone? 0 and 0 in the red zone. Of course, 0 and 1's also worse. I knew you were going to bring it up, Weasel. Don't tell me you weren't. But, yeah, I mean, when you're in a place where Matt Schaub's your starting quarterback and you still can't beat a quarterback passing for 86 yards total, yeah, I mean, Baltimore was pretty much without hope anyway, and let's just say the lack of hope continues. Next up, Cardinals-Rams. Chris.
All right, that's my page up. All right. After an embarrassing loss earlier in the season, the Cardinals got revenge on the NFC West opponent Rams in a 27-3 beatdown to hold on to the first place into the division and the number 2 spot in the NFC with a 10-2 record. As for the Rams, they're one game out of competing for the top pick in the 2016 NFL Draft. The Cardinals put up a bunch of yards. Carson Palmer threw for 356 yards with 2 touchdowns. Those touchdowns going to J.J. Nelson and running back David Johnson. Johnson also had 99 yards on 22 carries. John Brown had 113 receiving yards. Michael Floyd had 104. And Larry Fitzgerald had 55 yards on 8 catches. Those 8 catches put him at 1,000 for his career, making him the youngest player to reach that mark.
There you go.
The Rams basically sucked. Foles was less than 50%. Threw an INT. Todd Gurley had 41 yards on 9 carries. You know, not bad, 4.5 yards a carry, except that 34 of them came on 1 carry. So he had 8 carries for 7 yards in the game.
Wow. So much for that whole Rookie of the Year thing, huh?
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, really, you know, difference in the game. The Cardinals had 29 first downs to the Rams 9. And with that lack of offensive performance, they fired the offensive coordinator for the Rams, but I don't think it's going to do much. Really, that's it that I have in this game. Just, you know, the Cardinals got revenge on them after dropping the first matchup.
Pop quiz. Jeff Fisher still in St. Louis at the end of the season. Weasel.
Him and Greg Williams should get fired.
Well, I don't see why. I don't blame you for thinking they should be fired. Will they?
I think yes, they will be fired.
Very good. Thank you, Weasel. Hey, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure it was the Rams game.
Yeah.
But because what happened was there were 2 Rams defenders that were converging on a tight end. I believe it was they were playing the Cardinals.
That's correct. Jermaine Gresham, perhaps.
I believe so. So these 2 guys are converging to hit. Gresham. So he caught the ball and he ducked. And then you have one guy that's he was going for like the tackle. The other guy he lowered his helmet, and instead of tackling the defender, he lowered his helmet into his teammate. And I don't think you can get a call. Actually, can you get a call on helmet to helmet on your teammate?
No.
So I think he got a concussion.
Only in the Pro Bowl, I should say.
And it's just one of those things that, I mean, looks pretty ridiculous. But I was like, yeah, that's what you get.
Hashtag karma. Chris, Jeff Fisher, is he still in St. Louis at the end of this season?
No, I don't believe he will be.
I think they're going to keep him one more year, guys. I got to tell you, for my money, this team's kind of quitting all that. If they can get a decent bleeping quarterback, I feel like the Rams have a shot, but who knows? I think that I can see where you guys are coming from. They might be doing bad enough to where they feel like that they lost this team. I think how the Rams finish the season will definitely be a factor. Speaking of teams finishing the season being a factor, Bengals, Browns. Wheeze.
Yeah, boy. So the Bengals on the road, they crushed their division rival, the Browns, 37-3.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton was 14 of 19, 220 yards and 2 touchdowns. In addition, he had 4 scrambles for 11 yards and a touchdown. He was sacked once. And you even saw A.J. McCarron. He played for a bit, 2 of 3, 19 yards.
Hey, I got this softball tournament to go to, A.J. Why don't you play?
Yeah.
See, it's funny because in the offseason, they booed Andy Dalton at a softball tournament.
Huh. Didn't hear about that one.
Oh, yeah, we might have talked about it on this show, but I'll put it this way. Here's a tip for you there, Red Rifle. Here's one for you out of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Then all the reindeer loved him. Just saying.
As they shouted out with glee.
Boom! There's your Christmas.
All right, last thing is like toothpaste. So, getting back to the Bengals running back Jeremy Hill, 22 carries for 98 yards and a touchdown. Bengals tight end Tyler Eifert, I believe, at least at that time, he led the NFL in touchdown receptions. He was out of the game due to a neck stinger. So, wide receiver A.J. Green, 5 catches, 128 yards, and a touchdown.
Bing!
Wide receiver Marvin Jones, 5 for 55 and a touchdown. So the Browns, just a couple things, because, they didn't really do that much good. Browns quarterback Austin Davis, 25 of 38, 230 yards with an INT, sacked twice. Former Dolphins wide receiver Brian Hartline.
Thank you.
Had 8 catches for 83 yards, and in the game, tight end Gary Barnidge, something like that.
Barnidge!
He rolled his ankle, but he did return to keep playing. He finished 5 for 59. So the question I have for y'all, are the Cincinnati Bengals the most complete team in the NFL? You got offense, you got defense, you got special teams.
Chris, I'm gonna let you go first on this one, man. This is tough for me.
Best complete team, offense, defense.
See, you got to think about it at least.
I'm thinking, it's up there. It's in the top. I think it's in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, marking it as the most complete. I don't know, because the way some other teams have been playing, where the Broncos have been starting to turn around.
Yeah.
Because the Broncos have all phases of the game, the Panthers have all phases of the game. So I'd say top 3.
Whoa, all phases of the game. Look, any team whose top wide receiver is Ted Bleeping Ginn is not set up in all phases of the expletive deleted game, bud. I'm going to have to stop you there. How about all that?
Really, with the Bengals, you got Eifert, who's been out, but then you got AJ Green, and that's it for receivers.
As far as receivers go, true. Marvin Jones has been.
So really, you got Greg Olsen that has the almost same production as both of them combined. Not in the touchdown end zones, but end zone and touchdowns in the red zone. But
defense...
I'm just saying what the presence that Cam Newton has is a little more than Andy Dalton.
Man,
so to balance out that one less weapon on the offense. And what the Panthers defense has been doing, and the special teams isn't that bad either.
For the moment, I'm going to agree with you on the Broncos part, though, for nothing else. Their receiver core is awesome. The tight end spot isn't great, but whatever. Brock Osweiler is about, I would say today, based on, the vast body of work, by the way, that's sarcasm, Osweiler, you could probably put them at least, he and Dalton, on a similar plane without the experience, of course. And, of course, the Broncos' defense is amazing. The run game for both teams about the same. I'll give you the Broncos. I don't know if I can sign off on the Panthers with you there. But, yeah, if there's a more complete team, I think it would be the Broncos. Weasel, were you saying something?
Well, I would say if you compare them to, Carolina. Carolina, I think, they would have the better defense. But offensive-wise, Cam Newton versus Andy Dalton. You got Greg Olsen versus Tyler Eifert. You got 2 running backs for the Bengals. You have Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard.
Right.
Eifert, I guess I said Eifert versus
Olsen.
Greg Olsen.
Right.
And offensive line and defensive line, that's, I guess, maybe the difference. But I'd say on offensive weapon-wise, I think Bengals got him beat. Because otherwise you have, is it Ted Ginn and
Jericho Cotchery and Cody Brown.
Yeah, so...
You know,
I would take that. Oh, that guy AJ Green. I'd take him over all 3 of them together.
I would take AJ Green, Marvin Jones, and Tyler Eifert over Functious.
There you go.
Cody Brown, Jericho Cotchery. Pick your combination of freaking receivers in Greg Olsen.
It may have been different if Kelvin Benjamin was still in the team.
Obviously.
Well, he's with the team, but he's injured for the season.
Correct. Don't rule out, by the way, the running game. Jonathan Stewart is not just the guy that used to host the Daily Show anymore. He's a badass running back who's taken the helm as the cowbell back with the departure of D'Angelo Williams. I got to give him a lot of credit too. Him and Mike Tolbert, the fullback, doing amazing.